On September 1, 2025, the boxing world lost a titan whose life was as dramatic as the ring he dominated for decades. Joe Bugner, the Hungarian-born British-Australian heavyweight legend, passed away at 75 in a Brisbane care home, his memory eroded by severe dementia, a cruel final opponent that silenced the tales of his battles with Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. Born Joseph Kroil Bugner on March 13, 1950, in Szöreg, Hungary, Joe's journey from a refugee fleeing Soviet oppression to a triple nationality icon was a testament to resilience, grit, and an unyielding heart. Standing 6 feet 4 inches and weighing 225 pounds in his prime, he was a formidable figure, twice holding the British and Commonwealth heavyweight titles and claiming the European crown 3 times. Survived by his devoted wife, Marlene, their 3 children, and 2 from his first marriage, Joe's family was his anchor through a life of triumphs, controversies, and heartbreak. His net worth, estimated at $1 to $2 million, reflected a career of boxing purses, acting roles in films like Street Fighter, and ventures like A Failed Vineyard. But his true wealth was his enduring spirit and the love that surrounded him. From Hollywood glitz to health struggles, including a 2016 heart scare and 2018 skin cancer battle, Joe's lifestyle blended glamour with grit. Today, we honor Joe Bugner, his cause of death, age, family, net worth, lifestyle, and biography. A story of a man who faced the world's greatest fighters and life's toughest battles with unwavering courage. Joe's story began in the small Hungarian village of Szöreg, a southeastern suburb of Szeged, where he was born into a family caught in the chaos of post-war Europe. The 1956 Soviet invasion, crushing the Hungarian uprising, forced the Bugners to flee when Joe was 6, leaving behind everything for a chance at freedom. Arriving in Britain as refugees, they were among 80 housed in a hostel at Smedley's factory in Wisbech, eventually settling in St. Ives, near the Cambridgeshire Fens. Known as a Fentiger, Joe adapted to a new world, but life was far from easy. Financial hardship and cultural displacement marked his childhood, yet his athletic gifts shone early. At Goldington Road School in Bedford, he excelled in sports, becoming the national junior discus champion in 1964 at 14, his towering frame hinting at his potential. Boxing called when he joined Bedford Boys Club under trainer Paul King, and by 17, encouraged by manager Andy Smith, Joe turned pro in 1967. His debut was a sobering third-round TKO loss to Paul Brown at the London Hilton, but it ignited a fire. Over the next 2 years, Joe won 18 consecutive fights, 13 by knockout, against opponents like Chuck Wepner and Brian London, establishing himself as a global prospect by 1970. Joe's boxing career was a roller coaster of brilliance and controversy, defined by his defensive mastery and a reputation that polarized fans. In 1971, at just 20, he faced British hero Henry Cooper in a bout that remains one of boxing's most debated. Winning by a quarter-point decision, Joe claimed the British, Commonwealth, and European heavyweight titles, but the verdict sparked outrage among Cooper's fans, who felt his aggression deserved victory. The British press, often harsh on the Hungarian-born fighter, branded him an outsider, a stigma that lingered. Yet Joe's resilience shone in fights against the era's giants. In 1973, he went 12 rounds with Joe Frazier in London, surviving a brutal left hook and staggering Frazier in the 10th, earning respect in a narrow loss. That same year, he faced Muhammad Ali in Las Vegas, going the distance in a clear decision loss, and again in 1975 in Kuala Lumpur for the world title, lasting 15 rounds against the champ's speed and skill. Ali himself said Joe could be a world champion, a sentiment echoed by trainer Angelo Dundee. Joe's record 69 wins, 13 losses, 1 draw with 41 knockouts, included victories over Jimmy Ellis, Greg Page, and David Bay. But a 1972 tragedy, when opponent Ulrich Regis died from brain injuries after a loss to Joe, haunted him, with many believing it made him hesitant to unleash his full power. Joe's family was his refuge through fame's highs and lows. His 1978 marriage to Marlene Carter, an Australian journalist, was a love story that endured, with Tom Jones as his best man at a star-studded ceremony. Together, they raised 3 children, 2 daughters and a son, whose privacy Joe fiercely protected. His first marriage to Melody from 1968 to 1978 produced daughter Amy and son James, but ended amid troubling allegations. In a 2009 Mirror interview, Melody described years of physical abuse, including a 1973 incident requiring butterfly stitches after Joe's jealousy-fueled attack, painting a complex picture of his volatile side. James, estranged by 2009, said he barely knew his father, a rift that lingered. Yet Marlene's unwavering support defined Joe's later years. Their move to Australia in 1986, where he became Aussie Joe, marked a fresh start. In Brisbane, they built a life rooted in love, navigating financial peaks and valleys together. Joe's bond with his children from Marlene was tight-knit, with family dinners and beach walks in Queensland grounding him, even as fame faded and health challenges mounted. Joe's lifestyle was a vivid blend of Hollywood sparkle and blue-collar roots, reflecting his journey from refugee to global star. His net worth, estimated at $1 to $2 million, stemmed from boxing purses, millions earned in his prime, though less than Ali or Frazier. Acting roles in films like Street Fighter, 1994, and I'm for the Hippopotamus, 1979, and TV appearances, including I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, in 2009. A 1990s vineyard venture in Australia's Hunter Valley cost him millions when it went bust, as he shared in a 2016 New Idea interview, saying, "We lost everything, but we have each other." Joe and Marlene lived modestly in Brisbane, their home filled with boxing gloves, framed photos with stars like Elizabeth Taylor, and mementos from his 1980s Hollywood days, where he golfed with Dean Martin and danced with Gene Kelly. Health struggles defined his later years. A 2016 heart scare required a stent, and in 2018, he battled skin cancer, telling The Sun he was months from death without treatment. Joe's love for classic cars, like his Rolls-Royce and Australian barbecues, kept him grounded, while quiet donations to refugee charities reflected his empathy for those fleeing hardship, a nod to his own past. The final years of Joe's life were a heartbreaking contrast to his ring durability. By 2023, boxing writer Colin Hart reported Joe's severe dementia, noting his phone was disconnected and his memories of Ali and Frazier gone. As his son, Joe Jr., confirmed to The Sun living in a Brisbane care home, Joe's decline was a stark reminder of boxing's toll, with fans on Reddit and X discussing CTE's role, noting the irony of his granite chin succumbing to brain trauma. On September 1, 2025, Joe passed away peacefully, surrounded by Marlene and his children, as the British Boxing Board of Control announced. Tributes poured in, with Frank Warren calling him a great man who fought on ITV's first broadcast, and fans on X writing, "Joe Bugner took Ali's best and never fell." His 1987 TKO loss to Frank Bruno and 1999 win over Levi Billups at 49 capped a 32-year career, with his 1998 WBF title against James Bonecrusher Smith making him the oldest heavyweight champion at 48. Joe's life: 83 fights, 3 decades, and a heart that never quit, left an indelible mark, celebrated by The Telegraph as a top 10 heavyweight. Joe Bugner's legacy is a tapestry of courage, complexity, and redemption. His bouts with Ali, Frazier, Foreman, and Shavers, where he called Shavers the hardest puncher he faced, showcased a fighter who thrived against the best, even if a world title eluded him. His acting, from Street Fighter to advising on Cinderella Man, before a fallout with Russell Crowe, whom he called a gutless worm, revealed a charisma that lit up screens. Fans on X hailed him as the toughest to never wear the crown, while critics noted his cautious style, perhaps shaped by Regis's death, cost him glory. His British, Commonwealth, and European titles, won multiple times, and his 2013 autobiography, Joe Bugner, My Story, cemented his place in history. From Sorig's turmoil to Brisbane's quiet, Joe's life was a fight against odds, war, prejudice, and disease. His love for Marlene and his children, and his quiet support for others, defined his heart. If Joe Bugner's story, his unbreakable spirit, his battles, and his humanity, has touched you, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's honor his legacy by celebrating the courage to stand tall. Thank you for joining us in remembering the extraordinary life of Joe Bugner. Until next time, may his story inspire you to face life's toughest fights with heart.